Very well. Welcome to today's class. Today we are going to discuss the topic chemical bond. Today we discuss bond. So let us see what is a chemical bond. Chemical bond is the force of attraction between two atoms in a molecule. Otherwise, it is the attractive force that binds the atoms together in a molecule. Okay. Example, bond in a molecule. So, the meaning of the bond is link between two ends. Okay. So, in chemistry, it is the link between two atoms. It is a linkage or bondage or the force of attraction between two atoms. Okay. So, the bond is a basic thing that contains in a molecule. Okay. So, two atoms are held together by force of attraction. Okay. So, in a molecule, atoms are held together by force of attraction. So, it is a binding thing, chemical bond. It is a force of attraction between two atoms. Okay. So, in order to represent a bond in a molecule, we need some concepts. For that, we are going to introduce a new concept, that is Lewis symbols. I think you all have studied in 10th class what is Lewis symbol. Okay, this Lewis introduced a symbol notations to present valence electrons in an atom. So, to present valence electrons in an atom, Lewis introduced a symbol notation or symbol technique. It is known as Lewis symbols. Correct? And here we are going to see the Lewis symbols of some atoms. Okay, the valence electrons are shown by dots, either dots or crosses around the symbol of an atom. So here we have some examples. You can see some examples. These are some Lewis symbols. First you can see. So to represent the Lewis symbol of an atom, first you have to write the symbol of that atom, and you can represent the number of valence electron by dots or by crosses. That is all about Lewis symbol. Are you getting me? That means here for representing a Lewis symbol, you have to write the symbol. Then around that symbol, you have to represent the number of valence electrons. If you have two valence electrons, you have to represent two dots, or you have two crosses, or you have to give two crosses or two dots. Clear? So take some examples. Hydrogen. So hydrogen has only one valence electron. So around that symbol or along with the symbol, you have one dot. Helium has two valence electrons. So along with He, you have two electrons. Lithium, only one valence electron. So only one dot. Beryllium, two dots. Boron, three dots. Carbon, four dots. Nitrogen, five dots. Oxygen, six dots. Fluorine is having seven valence electrons. So along with the fluorine, there are seven dots. Neon 8, sodium 1, magnesium 2 dots, aluminum 3, silicon 4 dots, phosphorus 5 dots, sulfur 6 dots, chlorine is also having 7 dots. That is the number of valence electrons, 7, argon 8. Okay, so here we are representing only valence electrons because only valence electrons take part in bonding. That is why we represent only valence electrons. Clear? So when you talk about bonds, there is a very important concept, that is octet rule. Okay, before coming to this octet, why these electrons are or atoms are take part in bonding? To attain stability, atoms are take part in bonding. Okay, to attain stability or stable configuration. If the outer electronic configuration is 8 for an atom, it is stable. That is why all the atoms are take part in bonding. That is why we are going to discuss this topic, octet rule. The atoms can combine either by transfer of valence electrons or by sharing of valence electrons in order to have an octet in their valence shell. This is known as octet rule. Okay, that means in order to get stability or octet, valence electrons transfer of valence electrons or sharing of valence electrons takes place in between the atoms. This is known as octet rule. So after bonding, the atoms should have 8 electrons in their outermost shell. That is all about octet rule. After bonding, one atom should have 8 electrons in their valence shell. After bonding, one atom should have 8 electrons in their outermost shell. That is known as octet rule. And there are limitations to octet rule. There are some limitations. This octet rule is 100%, not 100% perfect. Some limitations are there for octet rule. Are you getting me? So let us see what are the limitations. Okay, in some central atom means in a molecule, the one atom is less in number, that is known as central atom. The incomplete octet of the central atom, that means the valence electron, the number of valence electrons after bonding in a central atom is less than 8, that is known as incomplete octet. അത് 8 electrons ആയിട്ടില്ല. And in some compounds, the number of electrons surrounding the central atom is less than 8. That is the point we have discussed. This is especially in the case of elements having less than 4 electrons. We have seen that in some compounds, the number of valence electrons in an atom is less than 8, that is incomplete octet. This is due to the number of valence electron is less than 4. That means in some elements the number of electrons is less than 4. That is why some elements are having incomplete octet in their molecule. അതായത് ചില എലമെൻസിന് ഇൻകംപ്ലീറ്റ് ഒറ്ററ്റ് ആയിരിക്കും, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ 8ൽ കുറവായിരിക്കും വാലൻസ് ഇലക്ട്രോൺസ്. ദിസ് ഈസ് ഡ്യൂ ടു the number of valence electrons in some elements are less than 4. That is why some elements show incomplete octet. Okay, so today we have discussed chemical bond. So bond is the force of attraction between two atoms in a molecules. That means these two atoms are held together by a force of attraction. That force of attraction is known as bond. Bond means this is a linkage between two atoms in a molecule. Clear? And for representing or to study bond, we need Lewis symbols, octet rule. We have discussed what is octet rule. After bonding or after forming a compound, the atoms in that molecule should have 8 electrons in their valence shell. Okay, 8 electrons in their valence shell. That is known as octet rule. And we have seen some limitations to octet rule. And these limitations are, first one is incomplete octet of the central atom. Okay, incomplete octet of the central atom. In some compounds, the number of electrons surrounding the central atom is less than 8. That is known as incomplete octet. Okay, this is due to the special case that some elements are having less than 4 electrons. Okay, that is why incomplete octet. That means in valence shell the number of electrons are less than 8. That is all about today's session. Thank you.